Hi, this is LeAura Alderson with Boomers Reinvented, and we're back here today with a former guest and a good friend, Skylar from Sucky to Soulful. So it's great to see you back, Ali, and catch up on what's been going on in your life. There's so much to catch up on, and so I'm really looking forward to not only sharing that with a Boomers Reinvented audience, but to find out for myself, because it's been a while since we've talked.
That's right. It has been. We've been trying to talk for like months and months and months, and it's like finally, I have a face with a voice.
That's right. Yay! That's right. The busy life of entrepreneurs and creators, right?
That's right. That's
Speaking
right.
of creating, so what are you up to? What's your hottest project now?
I'm writing a musical.
Wow.
I've been writing a musical since. Wait, let me look at my copyright date. June 10th, 2014.
That's
probably
not
before
so
that.
bad. Hey, that's not so bad. That's just barely over a year.
Yeah, it's a little over a year, and it's been a real labor of love because it's based a lot on it's based a lot on my daughter's life and her experiences as a musical theater person, first starting in college, and then her experience after she graduates college. So it's a comedy, it's a farce. But it's been a real, I just kind of clicked onto the idea, and, I was like, whoa, this is it. It just felt like I was, it's like, in all the, you hear the thunder and Thor. Boom! I was like, okay, I got to do this. It actually started by Lexi's in musical theater, so a lot of times she'll be auditioning for shows. You get a part, you could be an ensemble, you could be an understudy, and she tended to start getting a lot of understudy work. And then last summer, Jamie and I were driving in the car, and we were on the phone with her and her friend Pablo, who is also an actor, musical theater actor. And he also just got another understudy part. So all of her and her friends were starting to get these understudy parts. So Jamie jokingly says, well, do you want me to take a hit out on the lead so you can get a chance to perform? Because you have to understand, as an understudy, you don't really get a chance to perform. It's
right.
very unusual. And the leads will, they guard their parts very, 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 like lionesses. They don't want to give that opportunity. Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
And then I just want to clarify. So Lexi is your daughter.
Lexi's my daughter.
And Jamie is your husband.
And yes, Jamie's my husband, and Pablo is my adopted son.
Okay.
So Pablo is very good friends with Lexi. So then I looked at Jamie and said, oh my God, that's such a great idea, to create this story around these college students who are coming out of school. And this is what I came up with. They're coming out of school, and they all start getting these understudy jobs, and they're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to become like a star right away, And they realize that once they become an understudy, that they really don't have an opportunity that much to perform. So I'll go through the rest of the script, but basically the basic bottom line is they all decide to kidnap their leads. All 5 of these main performers, these students, not students, but newly graduated actors, decide to kidnap their leads so that they can get a chance to perform on a weekend performance, which is a really big deal. So, I have 5 characters who are understudies, and then 5 characters who are leads, and it's kind of their story, how they intertwine. And I'm sorry, I lost my thought there for a minute. What was that? I was just talking with my overview.
No, it's okay. So how did it get started? What gave you the ideas where we were?
Right. What gave? Yeah. So I'm having a brain fart here. Yeah. But the way I describe this is the premise. It's a comedy about the musical theater business and how the burning desire to succeed in the musical theater world can drive good people of all backgrounds, ages, and stages in their career to do unethical acts to achieve their goal of success and stardom. And this is the plot. I'll read this basically because I write a lot better than I usually describe things. 5 newly graduated college students working as understudies decide to kidnap their respective leads in a blackmail effort to force the leads to give the understudies a chance to perform for a weekend run in the starring role. With the help of a revenge-seeking agent, the understudy scheme works to their benefit, but also backfires on them as the agent deviously blackmails both the understudies and the leads into becoming her clients for life. Both the understudies and the leads, all of whom step into stardom within a couple of years, have become friends. They spontaneously decide one evening to make amends for their unethical behaviors by purposely choosing to call in sick for a weekend show to give their current understudies a chance to shine. So it's, to me, this show is a satirical farce about how the musical theater lifestyle reflects the human journey of being born into innocence, the fall from grace, and then redemption and forgiveness. The story showcases the journey of young people starting out in the professional musical theater world and how they become more jaded and desperate as they experience the challenging life of a musical theater actor, with a final group act of redemption that amazes and astounds the entire musical theater industry. I mean, it's really kind of unheard of that you would have an actor, you know, purposely allow their understudy to go on.
Totally.
Now, the naivete of the understudies is counterbalanced with the story of both the established leads and the betrayed agent, who's called Patty B. She's kind of like a mix between, did you see, somebody just shared this with me the other day. Did you see, well, you know the agent from Friends? Do you watch a television show, Friends?
No, I don't watch TV really.
Okay. Well, then you're going to have to watch Friends just so you can see the episode with the agent. She's kind of eccentric. She's older. She's smoking a cigarette. She's like a New Yorker. She talks like this. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That kind of, what? So, you know, I kind of see either like Liza Minnelli, Patti LuPone, Carol Burnett would have done a great job doing something like, Carol actually might be a good choice too. I just thought of her.
Yeah.
Some of these Bernadette Peters, some of these really character actresses who could really play an eccentric older agent who's kind of, she's on the way out, but finds this way in that's going to finally get her moment in the spotlight. So then what did I say here? I said, even though all the characters lack integrity, because they all do, they all end up lacking integrity, the storyline and character development allows the audience to have compassion and empathy for why the characters choose to behave in unethical ways to achieve their goal. And the final scene serves to support the idea that redemption and forgiveness are always possible when the desire and action to step back into integrity arises. So that's really for me what this story is about. It's you know, it's got the line of being about people in the musical theater world, but to me it has a lot of tangible issues that relate to all of us as humans and what we go through and the things that we're willing to do to get what we want and the things that we refuse to do to get what we want. So there's a lot of those. Oh, it's
fantastic. I was getting chills during part of it, Allie, because there's so much, it's so rich with so many possibilities. For instance, it would be hard to imagine anyone in the industry not appreciating that, because it speaks to what they go through, what they've gone through, no matter how far along they are. It's their world. So it's perfect.
It is their world. And what's really interesting is that when I originally started talking about doing this, I was like, you know, I just want to make sure that Lexi and her friends have a show to perform in. So it's like, at least if I get this out there, you know, 10 of her friends have a place to perform. And Pablo was so funny. He was like, oh, this is so cool because this means I don't have to do an audition for the show, right?
It's going to be
talented.
It's going to be so much more than that, I'm sure. It's got to be more than that. So think big, because it deserves it.
Well, you know, thank you. And what I really enjoy about this is I used her and her friends as avatars.
Yeah.
So it was so, you know, just watching them through their college years and then seeing now what they're going through as they're graduating and the different challenges they're coming up against as they pursue this, something that they love.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a challenge because, you know, I know for my daughter, you know, you get a gig, you come back, you got to go get another gig.
Yeah.
She did 3 months of Sister Act. She's out auditioning every day now again. She's pounding the pavement, really getting out there and trying to get more work. It's not like, you know, somebody who's an accountant or who's a, you know, doctor or somebody in a more business administration type job where, you know, you're someplace for a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Right.
You know, you can basically, you know, you can go look for a job all over the place. But in musical theater, it's limited in terms of where you can go look for the job, where you can audition. You know, there's New York, Chicago. There's not really musical theater in LA, but there's TV. But it's just a very limited place, and there's so many people.
Yeah. So absolutely, and so much again was coming to mind as you were talking. So I guess it would be similar to sales, the sales industry, and that is, you know, once you've made a sale, then and that's great, but you can never rest on that. It's got to be the next sale. Only it's worse or harder, I should say, because all artists experience that, and that is the next no feels not just like I didn't make a sale, but a sale of myself. They didn't buy me. and so therefore it's really hard, to not
Yes.
take that personal rejection. Do you have anything in the script about, dealing with that personal rejection?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. Well, not so much in the script, but the thing that I'm watching with my daughter and her friends is that, it's really funny because I tried out, I sent my stuff in and wanted to get into this big BMI workshop. It's for songwriters, lyricists, book writers. I didn't make it. And it was really like, crap, I really want, and Lexi, and then I tried for something else, very little thing, and I didn't get picked. I was like, what, are you kidding me? That kind of a thing. And Lexi said, Mom, it's really good you're not in this business full time.
Yeah.
Because you would not handle the rejection well.
Yeah.
And it's really true. It's like I had a couple opportunities, but she's constantly going in. Luckily, she gets very close, and then she gets some gigs, and then, it just kind of depends. But the rejection thing is something where you have to learn that it's not you, because a lot of times in the theater industry, it's not necessarily that the person isn't talented. They just might not be the right person for that role.
Sure.
You've got 10 people coming up that might be finalists that are all perfect for the role, and they just have to pick someone. It doesn't mean you're not good.
Right.
And the interesting thing I found I can't take credit for this line. I think it was John Groberg. He's a yoga spiritual teacher, and he had this line. I'm not saying exactly right, but basically taking rejection and turning it into redirection.
Yeah.
So rejection to redirection, which I hadn't heard before. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. So
well, that's the same. Sorry to interrupt, but that's the same as from Sucky to Soulful. That's all it is. Totally. That's what that is.
Thank you. It really is.
Yeah.
Really. But it was just so funny when, I was like, really? I was like, God, like I found out a couple of times a day. I was going, God. And she said, Mom, you really have to get a tougher skin if you're going to be in business. Really, you're going to have to just let it go, move to the next thing. So she's really good at that. She's got a really good, I admire her, doing that. And I guess as I do more and more, I'll get better and better.
Yeah, well, no, but here's the thing, and here's an important thing. I would really love to be able to ask James Altucher his take on that. You're familiar with James Altucher, the author of Choose Yourself? Oh my gosh, definitely. Well, I definitely need to introduce you to James Altucher.
Email me the name again, so I'll
it's James, and then it's Altucher.
Wait, I'm getting Altucher. Okay.
Yeah. And he's an amazing visionary thought leader, author, and blogger. And to me, he's a little bit of a mix between Woody Allen and Seth Godin, if you can call him that. Yeah.
That's a really interesting mix. Oh, God, okay.
And he's written the book. The first book I read of his was Choose Yourself.
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
And then he has Choose Yourself, Guide to Wealth, and now he has it's his newest book that just came out. So I'm sorry I'm blanking on, but I'll put it in the notes.
That's okay. You caught my brain fart from before.
Yeah, it happens all the time to me. But at any rate, the whole concept is don't wait to be chosen, because today we all basically have a theater on our laptop virtually, a publishing industry, publishing studio at our fingertips. So I would like to see, how is it that, you could take something like your script and expand that into, let's do it ourselves. I mean, to some extent, you already did that with the first step of writing it. And that is, okay, so they haven't gotten picked for the lead role or the non-understudy role in this production. Let's create our own. So then it would be, okay, where can we create these productions? How can we do it? How can we bring it to video?
There's a whole, I'm in the beginning stages, and I'm doing something unusual, which is I'm writing the book, which is the script, the lyrics, and the music.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll have a book writer, and then you'll have a lyricist and a composer, or you'll have a lyricist composer person. So, one of the things I've been noticing as I've been doing this, as much as I love working on it, I am looking for a collaborator, because I would like to find someone who has a lot more experience in the musical theater world. I mean, I have 20 years of doing children's theater, where Jamie and I had our own business and we wrote shows and went out there. But this is the first time I'm kind of going into the quote unquote adult world of musical theater. So I am actively always keeping my ears open for people that might be collaborators that I can work with. And the arranger who I work with, who's been doing my music, who I love, Alex Wise, is just, incredibly talented and has a great ear, great eye, and he helps give me great feedback on what I'm doing and so forth. So that's that's really helpful. But as I've been writing it more and more, I've been craving working with people on it, you know, because it's really exciting when you have something like this and you can really, you know, go back and forth with ideas and build it that way. So that's something I am actively looking for right now. I sent the script out to a couple of people in the industry just for feedback, and looking forward to getting that. So
yeah, well, you remember, you probably heard the story, the Chicken Soup for the Soul series was turned down, arbitrary figure that I don't remember exactly, 147 times or whatever, and they ended up, before it was ever, and then before it was finally accepted, and then they ended up pedaling out of the trunk of their cars, and you know what it became today, an entire industry. Things that an industry of books that has transformed people's lives. So so we just never take the first no, and that is not, you know, it just means you haven't found or created the right avenue yet, but it's definitely a fantastic piece of art and work. And I think what's so perfect about it is that you created it for a reason outside of yourself, you know, inspired to help others, and then you wove into it that which you're passionate about, and that is creativity, art, theater, music, you know, and so it's such a perfect blend. So I'm sure it's going to go somewhere good.
Thank you. Well, I've had some interesting synchronicities, because it's funny, when I first started writing the show was last June. I think last September, October, Lexi called me, and her and 3 of her friends were chosen as understudies for the same show.
Oh, wow.
4 people from the same college graduating class in the same show. You know, as understudy. So I was like, I must really be on the right track here, because how often does that even kind of happen?
Yeah.
You know? So it was like all these little things have happened. And then, Alex started working with me, and both our names start with A. So I saw that as a really good, omen. And I'm just trying to, I keep a log of when these things kind of happen, just to see where it kind of goes. I was going to work. Alex had a death in the family, so he was out of commission for a couple months, and I was going to start looking for another arranger, and I had another person who was going to come on board, who's my friend Dave Fields, who's worked with me for 30 years. And then the day that Dave kind of got back to me, Alex got back to me on the same day. So it was interesting that, you know, these little things kind of just come to play.
And here's one thing that just some sort of advice, unsolicited advice on helping bring those pieces together. And that is, you know, enjoy and appreciate and acknowledge and take note of the synchronicities, and then invite more of them by the actions that you take each day in the direction of that dream.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what I have 2 other businesses I work on.
Yeah.
Kids. Yeah. So this is kind of, I weave it in.
Yeah.
I can, but making a commitment to weaving it in, but also having faith that, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
So, and working to find more time to do that as well.
And I mean, this is a really good, an important point to expand on just a little bit, because we all have that experience and that problem. So what if we look at it like each of those 3 things, the businesses that you talked about, or the areas of, attention and time, are like 3 children.
Yeah.
So your family is 1 child, your script and your
big child
project is another, and then the third is your other business. And then, speaking of big child, well, similar to children, as we go through the journey of parenting, there are different phases in the life of a child that each child that they need more or less attention and assistance, aid from their parents. And that varies. So similarly, while, ideally it would be to, as John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire says, focus, follow one course until success. While that's the ideal scenario, if we already have several ventures involved in the area that we're working on, again, we could look at them like several children and see how several things. One, how they can synchronize together. Like sometimes having more than 1 child actually is easier than having 1 because they can play together. So similarly, businesses and endeavors can actually cross-pollinate and help each other, as you know, with your husband, James.
That's what Jamie and I do, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then just identify which child, needs your guidance and your attention the most now, and give it more of that, I would think might be one way to go about it. But if we could go back just for a minute, Allie, to, you and your husband, your whole family, you're basically creatives, and you and Jamie have been entrepreneurs for years. So that journey is not new for you, but different avenues of the journey. The journey is the parts of it that you're doing now. A lot of that is more new. And so if you could take me to the place where at each point you decided, what catalyzed you, like you said, what catalyzed you writing this script. But actually, let's do this. So if you write a script, let's say that somebody else had an idea for a script and they wanted, most people would have the idea and never do anything with it. Well, so what's the first thing that you would do in bringing that creativity and bringing that idea to life?
Well, I think the thing that I have to step back for a minute and just do a little prologue on that is, Jamie and I started out by doing musical theater. And my dream was always to be a children's songwriter. So I thought, okay, for a year, I'm going to step in, run the business, and then we'll give it to somebody else to run, and then I can just continue my songwriting career. That didn't happen. I ended up being the managing director as well as creative and, production-oriented person for, 18 years. So then when I had kids, things changed a little bit, and then I continued doing the business. And I've always tried to get myself in little pockets where I could do my music somehow. I was trying to, I did a personalized song business for a little bit, which didn't really fly because I didn't really have the engineering capability. I had other ideas on how I was going to try to get into music. I tried to be a teacher at one point because I wasn't sure I could make a business doing, with the music thing. And Jamie and I have always worked together, so I've always been working with him in whatever projects he's on. So for me, I've always been wanting to get back into musical theater, wanting to write again. And when this idea came along, I just felt like, look, I'm 55. If I don't, it just hit me so hard. And I guess with all my spiritual teachings, learning more about intuition, learning more about, when ideas are really ones that you should pay attention to, I realized that this is something I needed to pay attention to. And so that's really what inspired me to write this script. And it was like, it just felt so good.
Yeah.
And I was really like, God, I just have to do something now. I'm just feeling very creatively stifled. My kids, like you said, they're getting older. They're not babies anymore. They're teenagers. And, there's a little bit, there's always stuff to do, but it's not like you're running around with 5 and 7-year-olds or 8-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was such a great idea. Because Jamie and I are always having ideas. Our issue is we have so many freaking ideas that it's like, where do you put your, that's the you want to put your attention to all of them,
Yeah.
That's been our biggest downfall. Is like we all have all these great ideas, but it's, you don't always have two people don't have the time to do all of them. So writing the script for me, actually, I didn't even start by writing the script. I wrote, this is basically an overview, and then I have each act. I've written out each act and each scene. So then I wrote an outline for the show. I actually shared it with Lexi, who gave me great feedback. And then I, again, rechanged it and added on things and put more stuff in there. And I just have, the story's kind of grown for me in a place where I needed to get the story down as the book writer. So I could figure out then where to put the songs. Where would the songs lay best? Where's the best natural place where a song all of a sudden is going to pop up and it's going to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So writing the script really came a year after I just kind of sat with the story and laid everything out in a scene format. So I kind of had a general idea of how the whole story is going to play, because it's a lot more complicated than the overview.
Yes.
There's a lot more stuff that goes on. There's a lot more character development, things that happen between characters, issues that shift things a little bit and then bring you back to the original storyline. So for me, writing the script happened after I knew, where every part of the story was going to lay, and then where the songs were going to lay. And then what I started to do is I started to write the songs. I started to write the lyrics, and then I tend to write lyrics first, and then I go to the music. And then once the music starts happening, I have to adjust the lyrics to kind of fit that. But I always start with lyrics because I need to know what the person's singing about before I can kind of, what's the feeling of the music? What kind of music do I want here? Do I want, like with The Divine Sign, which I played for you, that was a very moving, that's a moving song. That's something where I wanted to be more lyrical, more of a ballad.
Yeah.
The opening song, which is called This Is Who I Am, which is all the 5 students have just graduated, and it's all character development where they're all, they're they're walking across stage graduating, and all of a sudden the lights go out and everybody else but them, and they just give you a little synopsis of who they are, and then come back to this whole group, huge song. That's going to be a much more upbeat, fun song. So the music's going to be different for that because of the content.
Right.
So
and it's a great song. I don't suppose it probably needs to be protected, so we probably can't play it here for our audience, can we? Or any part?
I don't know. I mean, I think I can, as long, I mean, it's mine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think
it's copywritten.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, plenty of people who know, it's like, I don't think anybody can do anything. But I was going to ask you, do you want to play a song?
Yeah, I think it would be lovely. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see if the sound comes through. Okay, it's great.
Now you're going to have to, I guess I have to play it on my piano here. Hang on a minute.
Oh,
let me just.
As opposed to recording?
No. I mean, I'm playing on my, sorry.
Okay.
Again.
Okay.
Playing on my iTunes, not my piano. I don't play on my piano. See, this is where I will just explain one thing to you. I'm a composer.
Yeah.
Which to me is different than an arranger.
Okay.
I compose the music. I'll put the chords, the melody, the lyrics. I put it all together. But then I need an arranger, a person who comes in and can kind of flesh out the parts and flesh out the feeling of the song. So
in music, that'd be all right. It'd be a little similar in writing to the editor.
I don't know. I don't know, because the arranger adds a lot. The arranger builds on what you've already written. It's almost like I've designed the house, okay? And then the arranger figures out the colors of the room. Maybe I work with him, we talk together, and I explain, because I'm not an instrumentalist.
I see.
So, like, I can't play piano. I mean, I can play chords and melody, blah, 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 but I can't make it sound like a real song. I can say, okay, I want this part to be, I want this part to be more of a vocal line. I want this to be a harmony over here, maybe play a flute, or, but I can't play it, and I can't really put it down. It's but I can't, it doesn't come out.
Got it. I guess so the arranger is like the interior designer of music. Yeah,
right, exactly. Right.
Okay, cool.
The arranger's like the interior. That's perfect, because then they bring things in, they bring furniture, they figure out where it goes, and they just kind of bring the house to life. That's what I would definitely say about it.
Okay.
And this is called The Divine Sign, and this comes from a little character development. Lexi's very driven. Lexi's song is "Life Has No Meaning Unless I'm Singing on a Stage." Her song is all about how she lives on the stage. It's the only place she comes to life. She comes to life by portraying all these incredible characters in theater. And Matt, on the other hand, after an audition has just been kind of turned down, is starting to question, whether or not he can really do this business. So it's kind of a juxtaposition to Lexi, who's like, I don't care what I have to do, where I have to sleep, what I have to eat, this is what I'm going to do. This is my life. This is what I eat, breathe, and survive on. My soul needs this. Didn't I tell you my son was going to call while I'm on the phone?
That's okay.
Right? Didn't I tell you?
That's okay.
Okay, I'm going to just have to tell him, I call you later. There we go. All right. So this is called The Divine Sign. And I hope it's going to be loud enough. I'm going to start it. If it's not, LeAura, just stop me.
Okay. That's not the song. We'll get it in a minute. Okay, don't hear it yet.
Oh, so I started it. So let me try again. Hang on.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, I know why. It's because it's coming through your earbuds. Are you hearing it?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
Can I take off my earbuds?
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah.
Are you sure you can hear? You know what? Wait, let me do something. Hang on. Let me do something that I think is going to work even better.
Okay, we could hear it, though.
You can't hear it?
Yeah, we can. No, we can.
Let me try again.
Don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't know if my path is true. I don't know. Need some help, need another view. Please guide me, show me. All I want is a little sign, come find me. All I want is a peace of mind, guide me, show me. I stand before you, want answers all I need. Do I give up my dream to feed and clothe my family? Do I stay on this path or choose a job for security? I stand before you, waiting for a divine sign. All the no's that I hear each day, I don't know. All the jobs that don't really pay, I don't know. All the promises I made to Eve when I told her trust me. All those actors as good as me, they scare me. Faith and love come and set me free, guide me, show me. I stand before you, want answers all I need. Do I give up my dream to feed and clothe my family? Do I stay on this path or choose a job that just isn't me? I stand before you, waiting for a divine sign.
Ah, it's so.
This is crazy.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was done.
Okay.
Yeah, we can stop. We can go ahead and stop it now. It's starting to get a bit tinny.
Why am I doubting myself? I know
Oh,
I'm
no.
good. If Eve truly loves me, she'll stay with me whether we live in a shack or a mansion. I stand before you, a man with self-esteem. Not gonna give up my dream. We'll feed and clothe my family. I'm gonna stay true to this, 'cause I know it's right for me. I stand before you, for I am the divine sign.
Awesome.
Woo!
I'm sorry I cut in there. I thought it was stopping there for a minute.
No worries. Oh, I didn't write this, but there you go.
I don't know if you can hear, but on our side right now, there's thunder. And each time the thunder kicked in right when he was saying divine sign. So you can add that to your
You're
list.
kidding me.
No, I'm serious. It's here. It's, yeah.
Well, you know what I like? You know what I like about that song? After I wrote that song, just like I just downloaded and came. It was so easy to write. Other songs, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It takes like hours. This one just like zoomed in.
It sounds, yeah.
So, but I think
smooth.
what I like about this, and what I like about this story is so many of us can relate to, and especially, I'm sorry, Boomers Reinvented.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, taking that risk to do something that you really love to do, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know that it's secure, and you don't know you're going to make a living. You know, this is really what the human journey is all about.
Yeah.
It's really all about, you know, taking those chances and really stepping into your purpose. Yeah. And a lot of times, I will say, I believe that people can make things happen, and once they follow their bliss, it happens. But sometimes it doesn't. You know, and then what do you do with that? Having the grace to also be able to say, okay, this doesn't work, but I can shift my attention here. Like athletes who get hurt and they end up in a wheelchair. What are they going to do now?
Exactly.
So to me, it's really all about, you know, going for it and going for what you want, but really also being open to where you're being led and you know, what's being shown to you in terms of where you're being asked to step up.
Yeah, and that reminds me, before the call, you and I were talking about the several month long journey that that I was going through dealing with the bureaucracy of Amazon, and so much unnecessary backlog of stuff. And the lesson there is I'm an Aries sun sign and Aries moon sign, and so the Aries thing is the ram, right? It's going to ram its head against things. So the lesson there is, you know what? Sometimes we just have to. It doesn't mean we have to give up on accomplishing what we need to accomplish, but sometimes it might mean that we need to step a few steps over to another parallel path that will get us where we need to go. We might need to walk around the obstacle rather than barrel through it or climb over it or be, overcome by it. There might be another way.
That's hard to know sometimes, because I tend to be that way too. Like I'm very, like, if I'm determined to make things happen, I'm pretty good at doing that and finding ways to creatively come up with creative solutions.
Right.
But I know, like, I had an instance with the insurance company for like a year, which would have cost us $5,000 if I hadn't stayed with it. There were so many times where I was like, I'm going to have an ulcer. I ended up spending $5,000 on the ulcer. But it was something that I just couldn't, I just knew I had to just keep going.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think you really kind of know, and it worked out.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I think underneath it, we all know when we really need to stick with it and when it's time to kind of.
I think that's true, and I think it's also the obverse is that we may not know. So, for instance, as I mentioned, the similar story that I shared with you earlier, that you know of, with adopting Devani, our daughter, and
amazing story.
husband and and it's an amazing story. But it took us 3 years to get her home. So we left her in India. We cared for her the first 5 weeks of her life. We left thinking that maybe in a few months she'll be back home with us, and So, every few months you keep saying, are we doing the right thing by holding her in the orphanage, keeping her away from another family who might have adopted her if we just released her? Are we doing the right thing? And so at each point along the way, we question ourselves. And yet at that I think is a healthy thing.
Yeah.
I think that lets us know that there is no one answer that's right. And that so much, and this gets back to the choose yourself kind of concept too. It's like, there's a belief that says it's written what happens and what should happen. And there's another belief that we create it. And, I think somewhere in between may be the truth in a way, and that is perhaps a lot of things are the blueprint. There's the blueprint for a lot of things to unfold that could unfold if we build this construction, if we continue on the journey that we're on. Go ahead.
Well, it's like people like the Wright brothers that, had failures, success, failures they learn from to go on to make successes, or, there's so many stories of people who've had a ton of failures, but they just kept going. They just kept,
exactly.
they believed in it so much. I mean, I look at my daughter, she's not going to stop.
Right.
I don't think, she'll just keep doing this. And I know that she will get where she wants to go, or
exactly
form of it, because this is what she's supposed to do.
And because that's what it takes. And because those who don't make it, you can be sure that those who quit won't get there.
Yeah, that's a good line. Write that down.
No,
write that down right now.
We'll get it from the video.
I was going to say, get that and put that in one of your beautiful, you make beautiful graphics with your quotes. That's a great, I like that one a lot. Good. A friend of mine came up with one yesterday that I can't really share on camera, but I will leave it. It was so great. I was in a mastermind group with two of my other women friends, and she came up with this great line of like, that's the title of your book, and we were cracking up because it was a good one.
Perfect. So we'll get to hear about it when her book comes out.
Yes,
maybe we'll have her interview her here.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, Allie, what else is going on for you with, your Sucky to Soulful brand and your products? Are there any other things that you're focusing on besides the script? Do you have a name for it? Sorry, you do have a name.
Yes, well, I was calling it The Understudies, but I'm calling it now This Is Who I Am, because I found out there's a show called The Understudies, so I might not be able to use it. So I'm not, what is that word? When you're attached, I'm not attached.
Yeah.
I'm not attached to a title.
Yeah.
But I like The Understudies, but I did research it and then saw that somebody had it, so I changed it to This Is Who I Am.
Oh, I like that. I like it a lot.
Which is all about, everybody in the show has a point where they're talking about who they are what their life is all about, what they want. So this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do because this is who I am. So that's
okay. So let's say the ideal scenario, and that is, what would be if there were no restrictions on resources or whatever? What would be the ideal scenario for a writer, songwriter, etc., someone who's creating what you're creating, to get their work out there in the world in a big way? Would it be hiring an agent, hiring a publicist?
Oh, money.
Okay. So with that, and what would that money go to? So
yes, I was going to go after that. You want money to hire your arranger. You want money to help put on a reading. So basically, after I finish the script and I finish all the songs, I've written about 6 songs now. I've put 4 of them into demo mode. So 4 of them can be, I can send out for samples of my music. 2 of them, Alex is going to be working on for me over the weekend. And then I've got about another 12 songs where I've got to put them together. So one of the things is there's a big workshop coming up in April that I think I need to start applying for the next month or 2, which is through ASCAP. And Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Wicked, runs it. And they take people who are writing scripts in, and they critique your script. They go over your work with you. So that's something where I'd like to get involved. They also have festivals all over the place where you can try to submit your show as a possible show to do. But the first thing really is to get the script, get the songs, and then you have a reading. So then you hire actors to come in and do the show as a reading. And then you hopefully can put that on, and then in places where producers can come to see it, because you want to get a producer. Somebody who's going to come put money behind it, help you get directors, help you put the show on the road and get it going. So,
well, here's an idea that I don't know if it's been done yet. You might know, for theater, for scripts, and that is, yes. Have you looked into it?
Yeah, that's something I'm going to try to do too. Yeah. Wait. Let me guess who that is. Oh, it's my son.
Okay.
Chazzer. Chaz, I'm still on the interview. Can I call you back? Thank you, honey. Bye. Okay, you got it. No worries. Bye. Yeah, I'll talk to you in a minute. Bye. Chaz, I'm in the middle of an interview. Can I call you back in like 5-10 minutes? Okay, bye.
I love it. This is real.
It's always easier to answer than to have it. Just call myself. He'll keep calling. So it's just easier to just take the 2-minute break. And other mothers out there, I'm sure you can all relate.
Absolutely.
And go for it. So
real life.
Yeah. So you want to. That's where you want to go and have a producer get involved who can then help you put all the pieces together.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't have to audition for the show. I already know who's going to be in it.
Great. Right. Well, and you already have, you don't even have to pay for actors probably because you have an inside connection there.
Well, I'd like to have money to pay them though, because it'd be nice to be able to give them if I can. But yeah, I'm sure I could get a couple of the hard part is though, LeAura, is that all of these friends of Lexi's, they're all performing all over the place, or they're like, a big thing is that a lot of these young performers go out on cruises, like the Disney cruise.
Right. She's
got a friend who's out for 10 months and another friend who just went out for another 6 months. They're in Russia, they're in Germany, they're in Denmark, they're all over the world.
Wow.
It's actually an incredible opportunity to go see the world while you're working.
It is.
So that's kind of the next step. So the Kickstarter, yes, I'm not in a place where I can do that yet. So I'm going to wait till I get it kind of up and going and I have actual footage of people performing it. So I'd like to be able to show clips of the show.
Right.
So then people see what it's about and then they can help do that. I think there's another site too. I can't remember the name of the other site.
There are several.
There's a bunch of,
We'll list them in the notes too, because I don't remember the name right offhand, but definitely. And here's the thing. I think if you keep building it and creating what it's going to be, so if everything you do is working toward that, then you will have that product to either be presented to a producer or a Kickstarter or whatever. So that's all a part of the journey and bringing it to life.
Yeah, I think the most frustrating part for me is that when it you don't want it to be, but it is. It's just the time element. Like I hoped by this time I'd have 10 songs done. Yeah. And learning to just, I'll never forget, my coach Lisa Brick said, it's easier if you have a range. Like if you say I'm going to work out 3 to 5 days a week as opposed to 5 days a week. So, I'm trying to give myself a range of, okay, I'd like to get this done in the next 3 to 10 years. So 3 to 5 years. So with any business too, there's that, you need that cushion. So
Yeah, well, and again, if you set a daily, you set a larger range, and then you set a daily
Yeah.
goal as well, and you
Yeah.
make it very manageable. But again, if we just say one thing each day, then at the end of the month, that's 30 new things we've done in the direction of our dreams. You know,
Right.
and how hard is that? That is not hard. At the end of the year, that's 365 new things that we've done in the direction of our dreams. And so that's the way to get there. That's the way to arrive at the destination of any journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's definitely powerful. And I think that so I had it too. Something blipped through my mind. I forgot what it was now. You were talking about the performers. Oh, about the kids paying you want to pay the actors and pay them, of course. But the other thing is you could always do profit sharing, because in the end, when this gets big, it's going to be wonderful.
They might have opportunity, but a lot of actors do that. They have to take opportunities for nothing. My daughter was working for nothing, but she had a great opportunity. It goes in a resume. So
yeah, absolutely.
I will tell you one more funny synchronistic thing. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember now. Lexi took me to the theater.
Yes.
And she took me to see Something Rotten, which I didn't really know anything about what it was about.
I don't
but
either.
It is so, well, Lexi and I are great audience members, and we're New Yorkers. So we sit there, we're in the second row, we're laughing, we're like, woo, we're like, they probably could have heard us on stage a mile back, but we have such a good time. But it's all about these two brothers that are trying to create this theater piece to be bigger than something that William Shakespeare is doing, because William Shakespeare is the big rock star of the age. It's like a Renaissance piece, but it's very kind of up to date. So the oldest brother goes to a soothsayer to figure out what Shakespeare's next big hit's going to be. I don't know if I should tell you or not, because I might ruin it. But anyway, it ends up being a musical. So they end up writing a musical. And I just thought it was so hysterical that out of all the shows that she picked, and she didn't know either what it was about, that she picks a show to take me to about writers writing musicals. And I was like, how freaking perfect is this?
Yeah.
Another synchronistic thing. So it's like, you just have to look at those things. But I was so inspired coming out of the show, because we saw a show about 6 months ago that I didn't really like, and I won't say the name. But this show, I came out and I just was singing the songs. It really pumped me up. And it was just I'll go back to that. One of the things I try not to do when I'm writing is to listen to other people's stuff, because I don't want to get influenced by other people's work. So I tend to not go and listen to musicals or listen to new music. I tend to just kind of hibernate a little bit in my own head, because then I want it to be mine. I don't want it to
totally.
Getting that where's that melody from?
Yeah. I do a similar thing with writing. So I totally.
Yeah, but it was really great. It was just a very inspiring night. But again, I just thought it was so wonderful that she took me to a show about people writing a musical.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to, so we're kind of getting longer, so I want to let you go. I appreciate your spending the time with us.
Oh, thank you.
Kind of bring it to a close by mentioning one thing that you mentioned, and that was it's taking so long, in the sense of, you thought you would be further along than this.
Of course, we always want that.
Exactly. No, I can totally. That's the entrepreneur journey, because we have the vision in our mind, and there it's perfect. There it exists fulfilled in reality. And then we have to bring it into manifestation of the physical plane, where everything moves so much more slowly. The mind is ethereal, the sky, is flitting through, and then we have to manifest it. But it's sort of like the conception in the womb. From the moment of conception, it still takes 9 months, and a lot. And then from the 9 months of birth for a child, it takes many years before they're actually cognitive adults using their frontal cortex, right?
Right. Oh, do they use that? They do use that?
They get there.
That experience I'm going to experience? Okay.
They do get there.
I'm just kidding.
So the point is, I think that when we get into that place of impatience, and it seems like it's going to be forever, what I try to remind myself is that, okay, 5 years from now, if I gave up and I end up 5 years from now never having given life and brought this being, this creation into fruition, into life, into manifestation, will I be okay with that? Or if at the end of 5 years I had to work 5 long, hard years, but it comes to pass, how will I feel then? It's that sort of thing. It's sort of like fast forward, not looking at how long it's taken, but where will I be once it's done, and how will I feel if I don't do it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just, you have, as a creative spirit, when you have, you know, when you're in a creative place, it's, you know, especially as an artist, you know, the more time you have to do that, it's like eating, you know, it's like, it's just, you just kind of need it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more like I just don't get I get my soul more nurtured the more I do it. So it just feels good.
Yeah.
It's a good, so yeah, it's just about, and also there's all these festivals and things that have deadlines. So if I'm not done now, September for this festival, I have to wait a whole other year.
Yeah.
It's not like in a month I can just try another, you know, I mean, there's other things out there, but if like the BMI workshop, if you don't make it this, you have to wait a whole other year to apply. But it's yeah. And I work constantly with that. Oh, but I'm 55, you know, I have to constantly say, shut up, shut up, shut up, and shut up.
Yeah. Shut up.
You know, shut up.
Because like, it's like,
that's a cool number.
That's right.
Double digit, which is a good sign. 55 is a very good sign. And wait, I'm going to tell you right now, I have this app on my phone. I know we're going to go in 2 seconds. I have this app on my phone from Doreen Virtue where you can, it's called, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's like an app where you can you see this? Is this coming up?
Pull it closer to the green dot on the camera.
It's like you can enter a number and then she tells you what the number means.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to enter the number. Yeah, so I'm going to put 555 because it has to be 3 numbers. I don't think you can. Okay. So 555, 5 is my, you know, I'm 55 right now, so there's a lot of double digits. It says, can you read that? Or
it says huge changes are rumbling throughout your entire life. To keep these changes on course, on the highest possible course, be sure to keep your thoughts positive and stay centered in prayer and affirmations.
So I figured if Doreen Virtue's telling me that, then this is a good number. 55 is a very good number.
It's a very good number.
So that's why when I say, oh my God, I'm 55.
But remember, so here's the thing I want to mention in response to that, and that is back to the James Altucher concept. Also tell yourself that. So tell yourself 55 is a good number. Not 56. When you're 56, tell yourself 56 is a good number. So you see, really, it's what we decide. You know,
I like that line. Choose yourself. I think that's
yourself.
I haven't heard that one. It's a great line.
Choose yourself. Choose your number.
That's my next musical.
Choose yourself. There you go. You can collaborate with James Altucher himself, perhaps. He would love it, I think. Knowing what I know of him, I think.
Well, that's the problem now. You know, I've always been seeing musicals all over the place. You know, I've had tons of ideas. I was going to make a musical out of my course.
Yeah.
Out of my book, Life Sucks Just Kidding, I had that one-woman show, and I was going to turn it into a musical.
Yeah.
Which I kind of didn't do. But yeah, that's the thing. When you have all these creative ideas, you're always seeing all these new places. So.
And
maybe I will. You never know. It might be choose yourself.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So wow, what are you going to do this next 55 years or 50 years? How amazing that we have 50 more years to do the work we want to do in the world. And it's like Richard Branson said in a recent article that we posted on Boomers Reinvented. And that is, what a waste to think about retiring when you're in your 50s. When it is, you're at the place in your life where you've amassed the most wisdom you've ever had thus far, and the most settled, calm, mature you've ever been thus far, and there's a world in need. You know, so that's when we get to work.
Well, it's funny. I have a dentist who I really like. He's a new dentist, and I'm really very, very, very thrilled with him. And he said to me a couple sessions back, he said, "You know, it's funny because I'm 58 and the dentist who's my mentor already retired at this age. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm just getting started."
Yeah.
And it was just it's just so nice when you meet people. I mean, a lot of people I meet at our age are like that. I think it's a whole new, you know, that's a whole new paradigm. We're all in that space.
That's right.
It's nice when people, you know, get excited about new things at any age.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And to always always flip it from sucky to soulful.
Yeah. Wow, you brought that around really nice. Yeah, I like that. That was really awesome.
It sticks with me. It sticks with me. Well, Allie, it's so wonderful catching up with you. Please give hugs to Jamie. And
I will.
I keep
always with you. I want you to come move right next door to me.
I know.
Serious, I'll come right next door to you.
Yeah, come down here. We've got woods and mountains. It's wonderful here. Lots of green, lots of forest.
I still have to visit you guys, so I'd love to do that sometime.
We are going to hold you to it.
Okay, good. And give my best to your family as well.
I will. Okay, Allie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Bye.